Alrighty, I'm here with Coach Hallmark here. Um, if Coach, if you just want to start us off with an opening statement, and then we'll roll right into questions.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here with you guys, with the team, and um, been working, but ready to keep working on 2026 roster. That's the most pressing thing right now. So I'm grateful and really excited.
JJ, if you want to start us off.
Pat, can you just go through, I guess, the process? When did it start for you guys? And then what was the timeline to get this thing done after your season ended?
Um, there was some talk, even for the last month, just both sides, I think, wanting to do it, wanting to um stay here. But yeah, most of the real dollars and expectations were talked about. Wednesday last week was the first time we met. Yeah, I think we got back. My days might be off, but I think we got back Monday last week, and Dr. Campos and I met Wednesday, and then it was pretty much communication every day to some extent. So I'm very grateful for her hard work. Dr. Campos worked extremely hard to get this thing done.
We don't have all the details of what you guys agreed to, but beyond the salary, was there anything else included in there in terms of promises for facilities or, roster management?
Um, there was significant movement. So Dr. Campos and her team had committed to some Revshare dollars way back, and she had told me that, and I was grateful for that. But there was definitely some movement in that area, significant movement, which was very important to me. The dollars for my contract and keeping me here were pretty close, or in fact, in year one, they were the same as the very first offer. It was less about that. I was never really unhappy with that. But the rev share was huge. And again, to Dr. Campos's credit, um, that was the needle that moved and increased. It enabled us, I hope, I think, and the portal is still open, but it has put us in a good place to keep our current roster in retention, which has always been my goal. I don't think we're in a place, and and I'm okay with it, where we're not buying these high price guys out of the portal, but she enabled us to be in a place where we can retain some of these super important pieces like Orlowski, and some of these other arms. So very grateful she did that.
Go ahead, Greg.
Coach, you mentioned that money. Do you see that going more towards additional scholarships, or do you see that as the revenue sharing payments? How do you want to distribute that more specifically?
I think because of the way UTSA is set up, and don't quote me on this, I think it's actually a UT system thing. I don't know. It's a rev share number as opposed to scholarship. And that's what I would prefer. It gives us flexibility. If it's tied to a scholarship, you're a little more locked in to a max amount. If it's tied to rev share, um, in theory, you could use a lot of it on one player, in theory. So the rev share allows more flexibility.
Was there any effort to get that stuff written into the contract, or is it something that you guys just work out, internally?
No effort to get it written into the contract, right? It was all internally, and Dr. Campos and her team have never ever told me something that that wasn't carried out. So I don't have any doubts in that.
This was sort of a strange situation last week where there was some debate about the terms of your existing contract, whether the amendment had changed the date to 2025 or whether it was still through 26. How did that sort of impact the process and the way these negotiations played out?
It didn't. Um, I don't even know the specifics of it, and there was a little bit of back and forth, and even through this whole thing, I I want everybody to know that this is where I wanted to be. I was never unhappy with Dr. Campos. Grateful for everything she's done. So really just pointed to the future, but that had no impact on any of the negotiations whatsoever.
Go ahead, JJ.
Pat, have they shared anything with you in terms of the facility, the playing facility?
So we've been even prior to this run. I think you guys know there's been an announcement in the direct communication between not even just Dr. Campos and I, but it's even further along than that. That the first thing we need is a player development building or center, and that is still on target. We did talk about that, and we talked about again to Dr. Campos's credit, she's very forthcoming. Uh, Austin and Karen have the project going on, literally right behind me. Um, and that's still that needs to happen, and it's happening, right? Like, and then this player development building will happen. So I understand that. I think everybody knows that is the first phase. We did talk about possible phases after that, but no promises were made, and I'm okay with that. I think what I want to make clear is I don't expect a $30 million stadium. That's never been my expectation. Um, what I would like is to get that player development center going as soon as possible, and I was happy with those conversations with her. So I'm very excited for the future, and that will take care of the immediate player needs. And then we can look at hopefully through some fan support and donor support, and because of what we've done, then we can maybe look at raising some money. And I think it should, at this point, the institutions with the Revshare movement that they've made, I am happy that we're able to keep this roster together. And then, the kind of the next ask, I think, is more of a community-based support, and maybe then we can, get shovels in the ground, but then even look beyond that and maybe start with some type of projects. Again, it doesn't need to be a $30 million one-time project. I think it needs to be a much smaller project where we build this thing in pieces similar to Southern Mississippi. That's a good example of a program that hosts regionals. In UCLA, I'd never been there, but obviously we just went there, but their stadium is not a $30 million stadium. It's a nice ballpark, and it's similar to what I think we need to host. Hosting is the key. I don't want to host at the missions or anywhere else. If we can host, I would love to host here. So building in incremental phases to make that happen through donor support is my next goal.
Pat, why is that so important? Just because of the revenue it could generate?
Well, that's a nice piece, JJ, but I want it because we can win. You're more likely to win when you host. Uh, period. For me, selfishly, that's why I want it. And I know I'm not naive enough to know the revenue doesn't help me get other things. But it's more about winning and getting to Omaha and winning a national championship. And the easiest path to that is to host a regional and a super regional. So that's why I would love to be able to host, is I want to win.
Go ahead, Nick.
Coach, you mentioned that a lot of what you've done with this program has been focused on the players, as you've just been referencing the revenue share and keeping this roster together. How beneficial is it for you to have this portion of this offseason taken care of? The contracts get good, and now you get to get an opportunity to just focus on what you love the most, which is your guys.
It's critical. I'm so happy, grateful, thankful that now when I come to, I mean, we've been coming to the office every day. Coach Aguayo, Coach Butler, all the coaches have been coming in here. A lot of the players are still here, hanging out too. But from a coaching standpoint, clearly it's refreshing to come here, and it's all about. I mean, right now it's about the transfer portal and retaining players, keeping our players out of the transfer portal for the right reasons by being able to pay them what they deserve to be paid. And these are wonderful people. This is what I want to talk about is um, Rob Orlowski. He Rob Orlowski's coming back as of today, and he's coming back for a little bit of money, but he's coming back. It's a lot of money, but he's coming back for less money than he would get if he got in the portal and hit the open market. That I hope that gets out there. Like that's the people we need in the program. Rob is critical. Connor Kelly's doing the same thing. Connor Miles is doing the same thing. Zach Royce may get drafted. If he doesn't get drafted, he's doing the same thing. And I could go on and on. Every player on our roster that had a good year, and y'all know there's tons of them. If they chose to get in the portal, they would get more money somewhere else. That doesn't mean we're not giving them a pretty good chunk of money, but there's like open market value, and then there's what me and my coaching staff call fair UTSA value. And these are wonderful human beings that want to be here. And with this contract being done, we're focusing on that now. And again, because they move the needle in the rev share, we're getting to do the things that need to be done, and that most coaches around the country that are hoping to win a conference championship next year, this is what they're doing, and it's what we're doing. And there are people out there that are basically scrambling and they're losing players because some administrations aren't doing it. It's tough right now, and our administration has helped us get to the point where we're doing what we want to do, which is retain our most important pieces.
Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Coach, on that note, I know the focus right now is retaining your roster. Um, is there after this run that you guys had, is there a flip side to that? Have you guys gotten any inquiries, or are there players that you guys are targeting of maybe adding to this roster currently?
For sure, yes, we have uh, nine, I believe, incoming guys currently. Eight, I think it's eight, all high school guys, which we're super excited about. A bunch of pitchers. Um, But due to injury, we've had Ty Odom is who I speak of, really good center fielder, starting outfielder for us at the beginning of the year, but he's out. We don't, anyway, yes, the answer to your question is yes, we need a center fielder. So we're hunting the portal daily and we're in talks every day. Maybe we get a commitment today, but yes, the answer to your question is yes. We need a center fielder. We lose Mason, um, and we need a much of Mason gets overlooked on the defensive side. We need a defensive center fielder first and foremost. I don't know that you're going to replace Mason Lytle's bat. We'll work towards that. But one of the biggest needs we have is a center fielder that can play defense close to what Mason did. And there's a couple out there that we're talking to. We need left-handed hitting power. We obviously will lose Tausig. We lose McClure. There's some run production and a little bit of pop there. So center fielder and left-handed hitting with power. We're in the portal right now as we speak. Aguayo and Butler are deep into that. So yes.
And then, Coach, another follow up. You mentioned the player development piece of getting that kind of facility up and going, as soon as possible. Were there any timelines discussed of between you and Dr. Campos of when that could be an actuality?
Yes, but I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know that we're ready to share the timeline.
Go ahead, Greg.
Pat, there was a report this week that you were a candidate for the San Diego State job. I'm curious, to what extent did you explore or engage with other possibilities as this process was unfolding?
I was, and I did explore. I wanted to be here, but that's a good job too. And yeah, there was exploration in that direction. But I'm glad it happened here. This is the place me and my family would prefer to be. So very grateful again that I'm here.
JJ?
Pat, you said you want everybody to know you wanted to be here, but how close was it that, this didn't happen? Was it close at all?
I don't think so. I don't know, honestly. Like I've never really been through this. This has been a whirlwind, and still I don't have clarity. Clarity is super important to me. I think because I'm not all that smart. But there was not a lot of clarity just in terms of ease of peace of mind. And again, that's why I'm grateful that the Revshare number got moved. As soon as I got that information, I started to feel comfortable and I started to gain some clarity in terms of what I want to do, which is at this point, what I want to do is build a roster. And what I want to do is get on a baseball field. So because of Dr. Campos's hard work and pointed work in that direction, she made that possible. And pretty much right when I heard that, the other possibilities became less of a factor. I felt like um, that's what I needed to hear. So I don't know. It's kind of a relative and subjective question. I hope I'm not dodging the question. I don't want you to feel like I am, but there was talks. This is where I always wanted to be. And once the rev share number uh, started to get moved, I felt like this was going to happen, and I was grateful for that.
Pat, are you going to be able to keep your coaching staff together? Is Coach Aguayo going to come back?
He is, right? Everything's fluid in line of work. But as of right now, the three coaches on our staff that are paid, and that's all that's allowed. This is not an administration thing, but in baseball, I don't know about other sports, but you're only allowed to pay three. So I don't know that we're gonna keep Coach Malone. He's got other opportunities. He's very young, but it has nothing to do with resources or anything. It's more of a personal decision. He was our volunteer coach, but Coach Aguayo, Coach Butler, and Coach Cavazos, as we sit here today, are all coming back, and I'm grateful for that.
Go ahead, Greg.
Pat, can you share a little bit more about how far that revenue share number moved? I know you guys don't get into the specific figures, but did it double or was it just a small uptick? Like, how far did you move that through this process?
It more than doubled.
All righty, Nick. One last question for Nick, and then we'll wrap it up with a couple questions from Vinny.
And Coach, as you mentioned, your passion for your players, and I'm assuming you got a couple of text messages or calls from the guys after the news broke yesterday. We saw Jordan Ballin reposted it on his Instagram page, the news of you signing your contract. What has that reaction been like for you, hearing from the guys or hearing from other people within the program that are excited that you're going to be coming back?
Yeah, it was fun. A little bit of a maybe a for me. I don't want to speak for them, but I was took a deep breath and just was glad because I didn't want to not coach those guys. So they were, as you can imagine, it wasn't just when the news broke. They were reaching out through the whole process. So um, I just am grateful for my players.
All righty, Vinny, go ahead.
I'll get emotional if I keep talking about the players, so I cut it short.
Coach, what's it been like to be the number one San Antonio sports trending story alongside Kevin Durant the last week?
I don't like it, Vinny. It's not about me. I really don't like it. I mean that. I want it to be about the players. I reached out to Jeff a little bit and I'm like, man, I don't like this, Jeff. Give me some give me some guidance. You deal with this stuff all the time. Jeff's awesome and Karen is awesome. All the coaches here are awesome, but it's not been enjoyable, Vinny, just because I don't want it about me. I want it about the players. I want it about what happens on the field. Hopefully it's winning, but I would actually rather it be Coach, why do y'all stink or what's going on than this stuff. So yeah.
And then could I just follow with just kind of a College World Series question? With the run you went on to UCLA and Murray State as an example, and I know Coastal's had a good program for a while, I guess, but is the college baseball world as open, the door open as it's ever been for non-power fours, as you've told to us, to get to Omaha as much as ever now?
I don't know. To be honest with you, no. Like to be transparent and tell you what I really feel, I don't think it is because I think not because they can't do it. This year's a perfect indication. We can do it, and Coastal can do it, and Southern Mississippi can do it, and plenty of schools can do it. Troy over there in Alabama is a great program, and there's plenty. Santa Barbara out there in California. The problem is getting into the tournament, and y'all are gonna get me going again. Uh, but the problem, there was only four at-large uh, non-power four teams that got bids, and we all did pretty good. Um, that's the problem with getting to Omaha. It's not that we don't have good programs, but there needs to be more than four. 3 years ago in 2022, we had an RPI of 38 and we didn't get in. So it's not that we can't do what we're doing, or the Coastals or the Southern Mississippis, and there's so many good programs that are mid majors. The problem is whoever's running the show, they want the power fours in there, and I'm not smart enough to know any other reason except this one. They want more money. So again, Vinny, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but that's my worry. Is getting into the tournament is as hard as it's ever been if you're not a power four team.
Yeah, that's how I label them. I label them with you and vertical.
All righty, that'll wrap it up. Thanks everyone for joining.
One is the one that says.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.